warrior poet.
Fresh liquid smoke, they got that derangement syndrome. I can see it clearly now. I took the anti-Christos, the anti-venom. My eyes are clear, the stars are shining near. Hakate, drop metal war, the goddess of death. Make your portions and pluck your strings. I have the key of death. I have the key to hell. Give me quickly the water of life. I am that drug, the death inducer. Hallelujah. Toxicology, pharmakia, do ya? Liquid smoke, keep it moving. Lady Babylon, Elder Amazon. Blow your mind on Spanish fly. Shining bright, stars in the sky. Consume the thera, the venom. Dragon's head, you sexual Venus.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is Amun Yu, and I am bringing you some instruction tonight that's going to thrill you. It's going to get inside you, and it's going to turn you into something that you were never thinking you could become. Oh, God, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I think we have an announcement, too. But I'm going to wait for that announcement. I'm going to wait, right? And by the way, little variety never hurt, right? Fantastic. I'm going to take you somewhere tonight. What exactly are we going to do? I'm going to resurrect for you Archilochus. I'm going to resurrect for you a dude who's going to tell us who he is in his own words, but I can tell you what it says at his grave. Oh, God. This is the person who baptized the muse into the viper's venom. Oh, this is the 7th century. I have a real treat for you tonight. I have a real treat. Tonight we are going to the 7th century BC. And everybody's excited because we've been hitting the second and the first so many times. We got to stop. We're going way back. We're going back to the one of the three people that the civilization that produced democracy said, these are the three greats. One of them is Archilochus, a warrior poet. What is the warrior poet there to do? The warrior poet is there to avenge. The warrior poet serves Mars and the muses. Imagine having the power to kill with your words. This is Archilochus. And I'm going to show you tonight. I'm going to show you. You mean he killed with his poetry? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He killed people with his muse. Oh, God. It's so gorgeous. I'm going to give you that. And then after that, we're going to jump into a little bit of passivity. A little bit of passivity tonight. So those of you nerds who have come for a beating, the drill sergeant is waiting. He's waiting. Before we even get to my part, I want to tell you, it's such a pleasure. I believe that we have found, Chewy, this is verifiable, right? I believe we have found that boy that was with Jesus in a public park at 4 a.m. in Mark 14, 51 and 52. I think we found him. I think we found him. Turns out he was with P. Diddy the whole time. The whole time. Right under our noses, like some kind of Bacchic tragedy. Oh, are you ready for the cleansing? Are you ready, people, for the cleansing? Can you feel it? Oh, God. Turn it up, Almond. Turn up the heat. Whew. We're going to do that tonight. Okay, let's get started. Bring him in. Bring him in here. Let's do what we always do and bring him in. Give me that very first reference. Look, people. Look. The Spartans ordered that the books of Archilochus, who? Well, let's find out. They ordered that his books should be removed from their state because they considered them indecent and would not have their children indoctrinated, Florida, with writings which might do more harm to their morals than good to their wits. Thank you, Valerius Maximus, for telling us that. Isn't that nice? Who are we dealing with tonight? We're dealing with the warrior poet whose works were banned. They were banned in Sparta. He, like Stephen King, is corrupting the youth. Are you ready? You know what's happening here? I just want to say this. Last time that we all met together, congregation, we talked about selling the muse. And we ended with songs that talked about throwing these pirates from the bridges. You know what we're going to see tonight? We're going to see the warrior poet who did just that. When you prostitute the muse, do you know what happens to you? We're going to see tonight. We're going to see tonight. Oh, God, this is so lovely. It's like a giant justice party. Give me the next one. Give me. Oh, did we finish all that? I think we finished all of that one here. Moreover, if we may believe Pindar. Yeah, what's wrong with Pindar? Let's believe Pindar. Terpander was the originator of drinking songs. So, wait a minute. Drinking songs. What is a drinking song? But it must be remembered that further innovations were made by Archilochus. Now, wait. The people, Nancy, you love music. Look at this. It's gorgeous. The trimeter, the combination of unlike measures, the recitative or rhythmical recitation of poetry to music. Oh, that was his doing? Do you understand what you're watching here? Everybody who's ever had any interest in rap ought to be watching the master himself. This dude, look what the dude brings. Look what the dude brings. And he's a warrior poet, man. He's a warrior poet, right? He's a Greek from the island of Paros, right? And his family have been setting down colonies and building temples to Demeter and Dionysus. Okay? Look what we did, people. We stepped out of the spaceship tonight. Here we are, back in the 7th century. Remember, for those of you who are catching up, remember, this is about 400 to 500 years before Judaism developed. And what is happening? The world is being saturated with poets. We've got libraries now. We've got libraries, people. We're going forward. We're going forward. Do you see what's happening? Okay, so we're back there in the 7th century, and we're making drinking songs. Drinking songs. Nice. We'll find out what those are. Give me the next one, Chewy. Or give me that one. Let me finish it. Yeah. To him also are ascribed the epipode. Oh, have you invented, those of you sitting out there, artists, have you invented a genre? No, you haven't. This person did. Not only that, but a whole bunch of stuff. Look at the tetrameter, the cratic, right? Well, how many of these different meters? The heroic, right? Version of the dactylic hexameter. Some authorities would say the elegiac. Excuse me. This person is inspired. This person. And you know what they did to him when he got to Sparta? They wouldn't let him in. They exiled him. They exiled him. What did Archilochus create in addition to everything that we just looked at? The iambic. Iambic. What is iambic poetry? It's the poetry of the insult. The insult that makes you kill yourself. It is the deepest, darkest truth that the poet can hit upon. It's when the poet's muse becomes baptized in echidna's venom. That's how they said it, not me. Oh, you hear the rituals. You see Eleusis. This is to Demeter and Dionysus. Right? What is Archilochus? He is an author of iambic poetry. Iambic poetry. Ithyphallic poetry. Who out there wants to know what ithyphallic? This is Mr. Rogers. Come here, Mr. Rogers. I don't mean to do this. I know it's not polite. Mr. Rogers, I said I would never spank you, but tonight's word is ithyphallic. Oh, naughty language from a naughty guy. Ithyphallic. It's Greek, people, right? Of course it is. Everybody's like, of course it is. Right? And what does it mean? Comes from two words being put together. Put yourself in the native mind. Straight. 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 What's the other one? Virile member. AKA Johnson. This is what is straight when ithyphallic procession takes place. Do you want? By the way, everybody, these pots, these Greek pots, that's original stuff. Do you understand? Do you see the Menad and you see the satyr? Why does the satyr have a horse's tail? If you've ever wanted to know why the satyr has a horse's tail, I'm going to show you tonight. You're going to find out for the first time. Classicists have debated this, right? What the heck? Some of them are kind of horse, you know what I mean? What the changes? Almost looks like donkey ears growing on that guy. What's going on? I'm going to show you. And it's going to have to do with licking the head of a horse. Let's do it. I love this stuff. Get them out of there. Come back later. Give me the next. Yeah. Did we finish? Yeah. No, we finished. Keep going. Yeah. I had a custom of his day. That's fine. Next one. Next one. What else? A foot less, and it will be the ithyphallic. Now, when they say foot, they mean metric foot, right? This is Marius again, right? Thank you. Which was invented by Archilochus and consists of 3 trochees. And then he gives an example in Latin. A rhythm composed, they say, by the poet in honor of the god herein addressed. Who do you think? Who do you think you address with ithyphallic poetry? It's people who are getting Christed. Christed. Do you know what makes us ithyphallic? Do you know what makes us ithyphallic? Last time we met, we resurrected Meat Man. Did we have Meat Man? Did he come with us tonight? People love Meat Man. We resurrected Meat Man. And one of the things that St. Thomas here depicted, one thing about him that I failed to tell you that I had in my notes, but I rushed. is that he says explicitly his medicine is the mystery. His medicine is the mystery. I've been telling you all of this only because we have sources. None of the idea. Meat Man is a reality. Meat Man, what does he taste like? Right? They put salt and vinegar. No, I'm serious, because it says in the Acts of Thomas, it says they put salt and vinegar all over him too, which is probably a great exercise because you're kind of trying to sterilize. You know, it's like curing. If your meat is all out there because somebody took your skin off, right? What do? Cure yourself, right? Right? Love it. Thank you, Meat Man. You may go now. Give us the next. Meat Man will make more appearances. I don't know why people like Meat Man. People, look at the Greek for Ithyphallic. What is Ithyphallic worship? Now watch this. Look at the Brits in the 1850-ish, right? Look at the Brits. These are Victorians. How are they going to define for us the straight male member? Fascinum erectum. They give us some Latin. The phallus, carried in the festivals of Bacchus. There it is. Everybody knows what a phallus is, right? Are you ready, Mr. Rogers? A phallus is a penis. Yeah. An ithyphallus is a straight one. Do you understand? When you are initiated, you must be in a sexual state of arousal. It doesn't work otherwise. You can see it in the men, right? You can see it in them. You can hear it, they said, in the women. Oh, God. Isn't that gorgeous? Where do you think songs come from? Where do you think singing comes from? The dude that I'm showing you tonight is inventing everything. Right? He's inventing everything. And how is he doing it? Through satyrs. What are you looking for? The dark harbor? Do you understand? Do you have ears to hear? Give me the next one. People are going to love this. Watch this, people. I swear. You're going to love it. Follows. So here we go. Look, I told you before. Look at their chase. They're running away from those Brits. They ran in a second from the phallus. Just hold up. Do you want people to run from you? Yeah. Hold up a phallus. Shake it. This is what they did in the Bacchic procession. This is why I had my students at St. Mary's University process a 6-foot erection into the theater, because it's part of the religious worship that sets the stage. Yeah. Do you understand? It's gorgeousness. Now watch. Now let's get back to Archilochus, because I want people to have somebody to look up to. For so long, we've been looking down on Jesus Christ, who was arrested in a public park with a naked kid. There's stuff going on. P. Diddy is in the background giving us a show. It's like are you sure? This thing is not scripted, is it? Of course it is. That's how all reality is. Right? What do you think? Programming. They looked at language and programming, then you'd think they would get it. Give me the next one. Watch this, people. Stand and look at Archilochus, the old maker of iambic verse, whose infinite renown has spread both to utmost east and furthest west. Sure, The muses and Dele and Apollo liked him well. Such taste and skill had he to bring both to the framing of the words and to the singing of them to the lyre. Take it down, every musician on the planet, this is your guy. This is your guy, right? Step forward, Archilochus, and tell us about yourself. Okay, let's hear it in the poet's own words. Let's hear who he said he was. And remember, this dude ended up affecting a lot of people's lives, right? A lot of them very positively, many of them very negatively. That's the power. Do you understand? Oh, God. Warrior poets. Let's bring them back. Let's bring back that Amazonian poetess, shall we? Give it to me. Give it to me. Right? Oh, but here's a little saying, by the way, from the Palatine Anthology. Right? Gaetulicus, supposedly. This tomb by the sea is the grave of Archilochus, who first dipped a bitter muse in snake venom and stained gentle Helicon with blood. Helicon is where the muses sing, and he stained the place with blood. Witness like Cambys bewailing the hanging of daughters 3. Pass softly by, good wayfarer, or you'll rouse the wasps that settle on his tomb. Who is there? Did we find her? Did we find her? Where are the hanging people? Were there things? Were there intimations? Yes, we have illustrations. Go ahead. Who are we talking about? Are we talking? What happened? Give me the scoop. Before something bad happens. Give me the scoop. The scoop is Archilochus fell in love, and he asked the girl that he was in love with. He asked her father, "Can I marry her?" And her father was like, "Yeah, bro. Here he is. Leave that picture up. Here he is." He said, "Sure, right." This is history I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any sort of religious legend. And so he's going to get married to his daughter. And the politics of colonization got in the way. And Daddy realized that it was more profitable for him, would make him more popular, to have his daughter marry somebody else who was in the political scheme, right? Okay, so what did Archilochus do? He simply wrote a song about it. And he was so famous in his own lifetime that everybody got a hold of it. Everybody. And do you know what happened? The daughter that was engaged to him and her father, and in some accounts, his mother also, his wife, right? The girl's, Neobule's mother. What did they do? They killed themselves. Why? You have to realize we're still operating within that late Bronze Age mentality of the shame culture. It's a huge deal. And Archilochus's muse ruthlessly murdered those people. They couldn't live after that. Now, if you think that's odd, let me tell you. Let me fast forward and tell you about the death of Archilochus. Archilochus died in battle. He died in battle. The person who killed him was at Delphi. The priestess oracle saw him enter and told him, "Get out. Get out. You murdered the servant of the muse. Get out." Now, sounds like a wonderful drama, but it means a lot more than you think, because this is the oracle at Delphi telling a dude, remember, Socrates is only famous because of the oracle. Okay. And the same oracle, right? The same position tells this dude who killed Archilochus in battle, you don't get any approach. You're filthy. You're polluted. How many other temples do you think this dude gets to go be a part of? How much of ancient society, how much of ancient Greek society does this cut him out of? Oh, just about everything. Because guess what? Everybody finds out about it in the end. Everybody. And that's what he's got to walk around. Now, he appealed the decision. He appealed the decision and claimed that it was under the service of Mars, right? And was therefore protected. And the response from the oracle again was just one thing. He was a servant of the muse. Now, we fast forward all the way to his death. I want you to sit there and hold his death in one hand, and I want you to hold his birth in the other. Because at the time of his birth, his father, right, who works for the priesthoods of Demeter and Bacchus, he goes to Delphi and he asks the oracle, what about my child? Tell me about my child. She said, he will become immortal. He will become immortal. When he was a little boy, his father told him, go out and get the cow. He went out and get the cow. He got the cow. And while he was bringing the cow back, ladies showed up. And these ladies had a lyre. They gave it to him. And he said, thank you. Right? That's Archilochus. They said, give us a cow. We'll deal with the cow. You take the lyre. Right? Now, this vision was verified to be that of the muses appearing to Archilochus when he was just a kid. When he was just a kid. You mean we're talking about an 8 or 9-year-old? Yes, P. Diddy. We are. All right. All right. I think I get it. I think I get it. Now, it was verified in his lifetime as a legitimate appearance, right? The oracle said those were the muses. So, for this moron to have killed Archilochus in battle, he was killing the divine. He was killing it. He was stopping the music. And that's why, Florida, we have to burn books. Do you understand? Let's all go to the Bacchic revelry. Give me the next one, Chewy. I want to pull it out and I want people to see it. This is good. This is good. I want people to see it. Look, here's, what does this say? Oh, the dude that killed Archilochus was called Corax, right? And here are the words. I just wanted you to see the words on the second line, exithineu. That's what she says to him. Get out of the temple. Get out. What did the Parians do? What did the Parians do? They honored Archilochus, despite the fact that he was a supreme blasphemon. Blasphemer. Do you know what Archilochus was? Someone whose words could curse you. You could listen to the words and be cursed. That is blasphemy. Give me the next one. I think it's did we bring in blasphemy? I think we did. Here we did. Look, speaking ill-omened words. Is that what we're doing? Are we now speaking ill-omened words as the Korax? Oh, right. Oh, have you heard that thing? That thing she can talk like a toad, man. I never heard that. She did that right over my head the other day. I thought I was going to fall over. It's amazing what those ravens can do. Slanderous, libelous. Who is Archilochus? He is the king of slander. Do you hear me? Do you hear me yet? Do you hear me? Yes, I know you do. Where'd it go? Oh, I took it somewhere else. I need more space too. Where's that? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? I'm going to let it sink in. I'm going to let it sink in. Can you hear it? Listen, slander. Who, tell me now, okay, tell me, who is the king of slander? Tell me. You want it. You want me to slander you, don't you? Who do you want? You want the devil, don't you? That's exactly the way it is, literally. You just bring it out. You bring out that demon, right? Slander. Imagine that. The gent who invented the sharpest slander that's ever existed. How sharp is it, Alan? Sharp enough to kill. Sharp enough to kill. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Aren't there any? We got to bring in the good comments, right? We got to bring in the good comments, right? This is more. This was about the appeal, right? It doesn't matter. Get the next one. The appeal doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. He was a servant to the muse, right? What were you thinking, man? What were you thinking? Oh, look what's happening. I just wanted you to see a couple of words. I just wanted you to see. This is that, really bitterness, right? That thing that really bites, I guess, is a better pikros. It's biting, right? It's biting. Look at the metaphors. Bitter, right? Relentless. Okay, just bear that in mind. Give me the next one. I think I put that was the cart. We'll find the horse, don't worry. I think, here it is. Okay. That word, look at the first line. Look at the last part of that last word, right? Bikren. I want you to see how this fits in, right? So here, people, we're at the tomb, the seaside tomb of Archilochus, right? And I want you to see that he is baptizing. Look at the second line. I just want you to see this. This was quoted above, but I wanted you to see the Greek. Protos ebapse. He is the first, right? He baptizes as the first one to do so. The muse. What kind of muse? The bitter muse. And what does he baptize her with? You know what holoi is? It's venom. Do you know what happens when you take the echidna? Who's the echidna? You know who she is? She's the mother of that girl who is half singer, half viper. That's what they called her. I'm telling you, that's what they called her historically. Please find her. She's in the Greek. Yeah. Archilochus creates a muse who is the joining of the song with death. Remember, this is Bacchic. The mystery is us entering into a state of sexual ecstasy, followed by death and resurrection. Archilochus knows the drugs. Are you going to be surprised if I tell you he knows the drugs and I show you? Oh, God. Oh. Think of where you are now. Think of where you could have been. Right? Shame on you. I'm going to show you a poem of Archilochus that's going to blow out your eardrums. Everything in it is the naughtiest. It is the sharpest, naughtiest knife you'll ever come across. Give it to me. Next one. Next one. What is this? Oh, here. Archilochus, just tell us for yourself. Who are you, buddy? Emide gotherapon min inualioionactos. Who are you? I am the servant of the god of war, the great Lord Inialios. And I know that desired gift of the muses. I know their gift. I know their gift. Who? Now you have to remember, he's not just saying that because he's sitting down on his porch saying, how can I be, let's throw in some metaphor there. What, you know what I mean? He's not doing that. He's not doing that at all. He's talking about his God. And who's his God? Inialius. Who's that? Oof, old Mycenaean stuff, baby. It's old Ares. Oh, God. Oh, sometimes classes get it backwards because they'll tell you Ares is the older version. No, I've seen it in the Mycenaean, brah. I've seen it, and I don't believe that. Okay, but it's out there. Why is the tree on which hangs the skin, on which is printed the song of Medea, why is that in the grove of Ares? Warrior, poet. Where do you think poetry came from? Comes from the worship of Ares. Do you know who knows more than the man or woman who has been a servant to the war god? Do you know who knows more about life? Nobody. Nobody. Fantastic. There's one mission. Guard the song. Guard the song. It's the one mission. You thought the temple, you thought the grove of Ares. What did you think? It's going to have a bunch of steely, big, brawny, cartoonish men. Maybe they're sitting there wrestling. No, it's got a tree. And on the tree is a song written on a fleece. And it's hers. This is the same song the Christians tried to abuse and ended up with their faith. This is the song that brings Christian faith. God, I love it. Give me the next one. Yeah. Give me the next one. Oh, I just wanted you, where are the drugs? Look, people, I just want you to see this reference. It's Scholia on Theocritus 248. It talks about hypomanes, right? They're interested in hypomanes and the terminology surrounding it. And it's an iesis, it's a cure for something, right? The drugs that are involved. What is this? And they're mentioning Archilochus in this context to look at specific technical vocabulary. And they're doing this. They're doing this long before there's, what other languages are around at the time? Not much, right? Not much that really is producing anything. There were 60,000 to 200,000, they estimate, works in the library at Alexandria. You know what I mean? How many languages do you think those were in? Right? Yeah. It just doesn't matter until you get to climax in a language Yeah, you haven't been there. You go back, Romans, go back to your huts with that Latin. Just go back to it. By the way, I love Latin, and I work on Latin sources all the time because I'm a classical philologist. So, but I do like to give Latin a hard time. Anyway, give me the next one. It's okay if if you like a limited vocabulary, you're okay. What is hypomanes, people? Are you ready? I promised you this. This is the gross part that certain people may like this. They may dig it. You know what I mean? Hypomanes, abounding in or swarming with horses. All right. This is an adjective, right? What are we doing? Well, if we turn it into a noun, right, we've got an Arcadian plant called the thorn apple or Datura stramonium, of which horses are madly fond, or which makes them mad. Did you know horses get stoned? Of course they do. Every animal gets stoned, right? Wow. Surprise, surprise. Look what's happening here. And I know, because people have mentioned this before. This is a big deal, right? What are the hypomanes all about? Look what happens in number 2. It's a small, in this case, in this reference, it's small black fleshy substances on the forehead of a newborn foal. Doesn't that make you hungry? Which, if procured, right, before it was eaten by the dam, because those horses want to get so high, right? You know they do. You see people shouting about adrenochrome. Oh my God, you don't know the half of it. Where are your horses, man? Let's watch one full. Oh God, have a big party. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Horses, right? Can you get Rico for horses? I don't know, but here it is. So what happens? It was a powerful. Why did people do this? Why do you eat this thing? Because they turn it into an filtron. Those are those things that you take in order to make yourself a satyr, right? Or a menad. A menad. A moaning menad. Now, the processing of it is really what matters, right? What they're doing with it to process it. And apparently you got to get it quick because you lose it. So look, where are we? Notice that we're still heavily in horse culture. There's a reason that Athena, right, is depicted in connection with horses. There's a reason for that, right? All of that Chalcolithic background is tribes of migratory horse people. So much so, their fingers are bent to the bows that they use. Their hips splayed out because of all the time they spend on horseback. Love it. Oh, God. Why does nobody want that part of the drama? Give me the next one. By the way, the Hippiatrica is involved here. That's a book on medicine, horse medicine. Can you believe in antiquity? Look. You can ask somebody, hey, you talk about Bible times. Do this to a smarty, right? Here's a little trick for you tonight. Walk up to a theologian or a pastor, right? Oh God, now it just fled my mind. Look at that. Never mind. We'll get it in a minute. Horse. Had something to do with horses. We were getting high with horses. That's what I was going to say. Your Hebrew Bible that you sit and study in your seminary, that thing that is actually something created in 1000 AD by a religious sect trying to establish a Masoretic text, right? You look at that and you look at the language in it. Look at the level of performance with 7,000 to 8,000 words, unique words, not much at all. Greek has so many unique words that you have subspecialties within specialties. And you see it coming out in this vocabulary. These temple practices, they are not simple, right? They're built on a basis of reason that is just, which makes sense because you walk up to the thing, look at how perfect it is. Stand in front of a Greek temple someday, please, and you'll feel the difference in the language. What do you get with Egyptian? Ooh, ooh, straight up. Look, boom, boom. Looks like a giant rock that somebody chiseled. What happens when you stand in front of a Greek temple? I'm telling the truth, people. I am. All you scholars out there, all you Egyptologists, I'm telling the truth. You stand in front of a Greek temple and you defecate in your britches just from sheer awe of the mathematical calculations it took to put this beauty together. It's beauty. And you see these sculptures, you're like, you know what you feel when you see an Egyptian sculpture? Everybody's giving the Egyptians way too much credit, man. Everybody's giving them way too much credit. Way too much credit. Gilgamesh, too. That stuff was worthless, right? What did Gilgamesh get you built? Okay, people like it when I do this, so I'm going to indulge. Let me ask the people out there, what did Gilgamesh get you built in history? You know what it got? Mud huts. That's what it got. Mud brick. Brilliant. Brilliant. Check out a temple. Check out a temple. Try one in Athens sometime. Go to Turkey. Look up and down the coast of Turkey. Oh, God. Love it. Absolutely love it. Give me the next one. Have you ever seen them? They're frozen, man. They're frozen. I don't know why. The Greeks make them alive. I wanted to give you the actual teaching so that you can see. Here's Archilochus, our warrior poet. What does he say? Oh, God the Father, ruler of heaven, you look at the deeds of people, and you know the ones that are unjust and the ones that are just. You judge the hubris of all these beasts. What does that sound like to you? What does that sound like to you? Does that sound biting? It's a little bit biting, right? It's a little bit on the side of, somebody's going to pull out some stuff that they know. They've got documents, and a lot of people are going to get implicated, right? That is Archilochus. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. I'll give you that one for free. What else? There's Iobaki that are going on. What are these? There is another unconnectable meter. Oh, God, it's more meter. With the first antipathy. Oh, quick, my music people. I'm already lost. Or opposition consisting of an iambic dimeter, a catalectic, and a 3.5-foot trochaic. Oh, God. That guy, Archilochus, has a 3.5-foot trochaic right there. No wonder they worship Priapus, known as the Euripidean. Oh, look at that. Euripides managed to get his name in there, right? He had fans too, you know what I mean? Yeah, kind of Swifties. He had them too. Although somebody said he got into a competition with Sophocles over some boy, Pete Diddy, thanks, some boy who was out there prostituting outside of the city limits. Yeah. They had something going on. Now, it's probably just made up. It's probably just like, scandal from antiquity, just to sell, I don't know, scrolls. Right? As for instance, in the Iobaki, ascribed to Archilochus, and here's an example, celebrating the feast of the holy Demeter and Cora. I wanted you to see all the mystery that we've been talking about for quite a while now. This is all a part of society's creation of literature. It's all a part of it. You don't get this literature without the mystery cults. You don't get it. Otherwise, you got Gilgamesh and ziggurats. Gilgamesh and Ziggurats. You know what they've got in hell? They've got Gilgamesh text for you to read in hell, right? Cuneiform. Read that stuff. Look at it. It looks like it was programmed by somebody who is, into pain. You know what I mean? That's not art. It looks like a chicken walked on that clay, right? What is that? John Scarborough would find that funny. He used to call it chicken scratch. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Hurry. These people, we're about to get, we're going to take a break in a minute, but are you ready to get back to the climax? Here's more tetrameters. Oh, God. Look, here's a whole bunch of stuff. Look, Ithyphallic, right? Ithyphallic. What is Ithyphallic? Give me the next one. Whole bunch more. Oh, look at the term, right? To lead off. Peculiar to the liar. Thus he, it says in Archilochus, quote, myself leading off the lesbian paean to the sound of the flute. And I want you to see lesbian paean. What's a paean? It's a hymn in praise of Pion, who is Apollo, the leader of the muses. Okay, so this is a lesbian paean. A lesbian paean. When you say Lesbos and you're talking about this time period, you're talking about huge Amazonian influence. You're talking about the ground that ultimately produced Sappho. Okay? I want you to realize that. Why would this dude respect those Amazonian traditions? I'll give you one word. Warriors. It was warrior culture, and they understood. You know who doesn't understand? People who are not warriors, right? Yeah. You know where we can hang? We can hang in the groves of Mars, and we can hang with the Bacchans, because they will go to the hunters, and the hunters know, because they live that life and death struggle, right? Rest of those bread eaters, what good are they? What good are they? The bread eaters. What good are, do you see? Do you see that heroic Bronze Age mentality? Right? It's when women kicked ass, man. I'm telling you, somebody's going to write a history someday, right? And they're going to look at all of the influence of the Scythian ladies. I want to tell you right now, all joking aside, nothing so historically sexy as these Scythian women. They took Jack from anyone. They will take your scalp. They'll take your scalp. Yeah. They'll suspend you. They'll beat you. They'll drug you. They'll hunt and they will kill you. Do you think they needed a Me Too? No, they expressed that in their life. Isn't it gorgeous? And you thought you were so advanced. No, you're not. You've been made passive. You've been made passive because the classical well dried up, because Christianity, Judaism, Islam came along and piled up concrete and closed up the well. Now you and I got nothing to drink. We got nothing to drink. You know what I want? I want a tall, dark drink of Amazonian Queen. That's what I want. That's what I want. Somebody, nerds, I commissioned thee at once. Build me a time machine. I want to bring back an Amazonian woman. Make it so. Give me the next one. Let's read the dirtiest. Now, I told you people to hold on. This is not the dirty one, but it just says the Ithyphallic song is written in praise of Dionysus, right? This is the kind of stuff that Archilochus authored. That's all that says. And thank you very much, Syrianus in Hermogenes. What? You mean we have so many references, we don't even know who these people are? Exactly. Give me the next one. Boom. Okay. This is the piece de resistance. Right here. Are you ready for this? This is Archilochus, and I want Archilochus. I'm going to translate this quickly. It's 2 slides, and I'm just going to translate it for you, and I want you to listen to the wisdom of Archilochus and his iambic poetry. Are you ready? The mind of the conitus and the bad prostitute are exactly the same. Both of them are really happy taking coin. Okay. I'm going to say that again. The mind of the conitus. Who's the conitus? For those of you who weren't here, this in Greek is technically the rump dancer, the hooty toot toot of the buttocks, the jiggly wiggly of the pigly. Do you understand? There is an art to those who have the itch. That's how they said it. Okay? The booty dancing is a central part of all of this. You mean, dude, 9-year-old, right? 9-year-old. What are we going to find next? I don't know. Send a SWAT team out. Send a Roman SWAT team out. Get that guy. Look, we got a kid here. He's going to testify. Next day, he falls over dead. Described symptomatically from a drug that induces sexuality and aphrodisiac. Too much Spanish fly, Judas. Too much Spanish fly, if you ask me. It was merciful. It was merciful. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Okay. Oh, no, we got to go back. I'm not finished with translating that one. Look. That's the conitus. So the mind of the kakes pornes. What is a bad prostitute? You hear prostitute and you think bad, right? No. For the Greek, bad prostitutes, good prostitutes. Bad doctors, good doctors. Bad priests, good priests. Yeah, it's a technical art. Why do you think they have temple prostitutes? Right? Oh, God, where have these people been? This civilization has not reached us. He says the conitus and a bad prostitute, their minds are the same thing. They enjoy taking cash. They enjoy the movement through their backsides. They enjoy the dowels being driven in and banging. They love the banging. Give me the next one. That's what it says. Okay? I'm going to show you the Greek. Just so you know. What else do? They make sausage. Wait, what? Okay, it's a little colloquial. Right? Think of it this way. Doling out the sausage, right? Mincing all those meats together and doling them out in one little, okay. Picture that, right? Right. What else? They like the tumbling in their innards. And one pummeling is never enough. They like a lot. And they swallow down. What do the people do who like the cash? What are you supposed to be doing, people? You're supposed to be looking at the people around you who like the cash. You're supposed to be looking at them, maybe into yourself a wee bit too. And what happens? What are you looking at? You're looking at somebody who loves it. Give it to me. What do they say? What do they say in the second line? Remember, right? Remember who this is we're talking about, who's writing this, right? One lover is never enough. They swallow down one male member after another into their deep throats, and they hunger for the bigger ones and the thicker ones. And you know what those male members do? They punch around in their guts. That giant chasm all the way penetrates to the belly button. This is what people are who love the money. 800 years, right? 650 years pre-Jesus, right? Okay. Do you see where the mystery comes from? Judaism and Christianity both originate from this Bacchic mystery. And it's all over the language and the boobs who have been teaching you theology as if it were history. They're boobs. Boobs. Give it to me. What happens to these people? Let's give it to them. That same one. I said, okay, where were we? We were in the guts. We were stabbing the guts in this great chasm of you. Giant. What does he say? Look at line 15. Oh, to hell with the person who's all worked up over sex. To hell with that person who has an itch in their bottom, who loves that bottom dance, who has that europrocton. What is an europrocton? This is what you get, according to Archilochus, when you crave money. What is it that you get? An euro, it means wide, and a proctos is what the proctologist examines. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. Now, did the Victorians try to define this? No way, man. No way, right? There's got to be an excellent way to do this in English, but there you go. So he says, to hell with all this stuff. You know what's important? Let this thing be important to us. What? The muses. And a life that is dedicated solely to them. Right? Knowing this, that this kind of life is what gives real joy, real tangible happiness, real pleasure. And it can all be summed up. I'm still translating. It can all be summed up in one expression. Let's never keep company with those whose pleasures are shameless. Those who crave money, fame, power. Yeah. Do you understand? This is what the warrior says. And he's considered one of the three greats of all time. Homer, Hesiod, Archilochus. Thank you for allowing me to present to you the curse, the blasphemy. You know who I'm talking to. Now, we're going to end our time, and I'm going to run the final exit, but I'm going to go get your drill sergeant because I want to talk about Unit 5. So go ahead and hit it. Thank you for coming tonight. If you're not coming back, hail Satan.
But the derangement syndrome has them hurting the kids, as you know. But you die too. I'm fashion gibbets. Crucify the child rapists on the cross. Throwing Christians to the lions. Throwing all the pedophiles off the bridge. Fish food. Have a nice swim for your derangement syndrome. This is the prescription. Reek like indica. Puffin' the death bubba. Black water freshie.
All right, here we go. So those of you who are here for the Greek lessons, I know that you've worked through units 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We've got to get you 5 and 6. And 7 will top it off as what we need before we have to take our next exam. So I'm going to be spending a little extra time with you over the next few days, over the next few sessions that we meet. I'm going to be spending a little extra time with you because I want you to have this material and I want you to be able to press ahead with the TAs, right? And remember, you can go to these sessions through the link that will be provided to you to talk to people who have already been through this course and have gotten to the point that they're in my reading course where we're reading Lucian and the Ass. Yes. Okay. Let's go. Let's get to it. Give me the first one, Chewy. Again, this is Unit 5. So if you're coming back to this, one of the things people have been doing is doing just the short and use segments to see what is important in each of the chapters and then proceeding. I think that's a great idea. Look, we're talking about the passive voice in Unit 5. If you get one thing out of Unit 5, I want you to know what the passive voice is. Passive voice. Verbs have voice. What are the voices that verbs can have in Greek, ancient? Number 1, active. Number 2, middle. Number 3, passive. Active, middle, passive. So far, you have only learned the active voice. I educate my son. Right? There is a direct object, my son. He is the one who is being acted on by the verb. I, as the subject, am doing the verb. I am not having it done to me. That would be passive. You're talking about the erastes and the eromenos, right? The lover and the one who receives the love, right? It's the same thing in the active and the passive. And believe it or not, this is exactly as they thought about it, right? Active versus passive roles. Right? Okay. Fantastic. What is an active verb? Kick. I kick the ball. Turn it into a passive form. I am kicked by the soccer player. I am kicked. Now the subject is not doing the action. The subject is receiving the action. Right? The direction of the verb is turned around in the passive. Fantastic. Here are the endings that you need for the present indicative. And what do we have to do? We're going to have to cap off all the verbs that you have learned so far now with passive forms so that you can say both I educate and I was or am educated. Good. Here are the endings that you need to memorize these. Oh my, a, etai, omith, este, ontai. Oh my, a, etai, omith, este, ontai. Please notice the second person singular can be either eta iota or epsilon iota. Don't let that freak you out. Memorize. Oh my, a, etai, omith, este, ontai. Paidewomai. I am being educated. Present. Indicative, passive, present, indicative, passive. Good. Hit the next one, Chewy. Boom. Okay. Now pay attention. The next tense we've got to work is the imperfect. The imperfect. The imperfect. Okay. We're going to form it just like the imperfect, active. But here we're going to have different endings. Amen, eto, ometh, este, onto. Amen, eto, ometh, este, onto. Amen, eto, ometh, este, onto. Please chant that to yourself. Those are the imperfect passive endings. Good, good, good. And what are we going to do? How are we going to use the imperfect passive? I was being kicked. Right? I am kicked in the present. Passive. In the imperfect, I was being kicked. Good. Hit me with the next one. Beautiful. Beautiful. What else? What other? Well, look, if we can have a present indicative passive, we can also have a present subjunctive passive. right? Present subjunctive passive. Oh my, atai, ometha, est, ontai. Look at how long that initial vowel is in each case. You've got just long vowels there, omega and eta. Don't you love that? Omega and eta, just like any subjunctive, right? You're going to deepen your vowels. Deepen your vowels. Now talk to a linguist about that over candlelight dinner. You know what I mean? Show me how to deepen your vowels. Maybe it'll make sense. Hit next one. Give me the next one. Here's the present optative passive form, right? Just like we have present optative active. Remember, oimi, ois, oi, oimen, oita, oyen. Well, here's the passive forms of it. Oimen, oio, oito, oimetha, oista, ointo. Memorize it. Oimen, oio, oito, oimetha, oista, ointo. Oimen, oio, oito, oimetha, oista, ointo. Let your spouse hear you saying that on the toilet. Please, chanting. Put it into your system when you're not otherwise occupied with something automatic, right? Do something that is, normal, right? Set it in your brain. Give me the next one. What else from this chapter? Well, I wanted you to see a future passive. I didn't put it at the top here. This is the future passive. Look at what the translation is. I will be educated. I will be educated in the future. Look at this form, people. I love this form. This is one of my favorites. Look at it. How do you form the future passive? I know you're going to raise your hands because you've been through the first 4 units. You're going to raise your hand and you're going to say, oh, just slap a passive ending onto the future form. Now, that would be logical. You could just use the second principal part and you could slap one of these passive forms on it. Sorry, no, that's not what you do. Remember I told you there's this illicit relationship between the aorist and the future? I told you, well, here's the Motel 6, right? Let's go talk to the person at the front office and see how many people checked in. Are you ready? Pi del thesomai. Look what we did. We took that 6th principal part. We clipped its ending. And then we added an eta and a sigma, and then the ending. Okay? So you take the 6th principal part, clip off its ending, add an eta and a sigma, and then you can add your omai, etai, ometha, este, ontai. Right? Pi del thesomai, I will be educated. Pi del these, you will be educated. Pi del thesetai, he, she, or it will be educated. Oh my, etai, ometha, este, ontai. See why you got to be sitting on the toilet chanting that? You know what I mean? Right? Make the people around you really uncomfortable. Like there's some kind of culty thing going on in your brain, right? They won't realize it, but you're working out on the toilet, right? You're actually working out, right? Good. Fantastic. Give me the next one. Here is the perfect passive. Look at the endings. I just wanted you to see the endings. It's just my, sai, tai, methus, the, untai. Right? Oh, God. Off of the 5th. Love it. Principal part. No problem. No problem. And then you can logically jump to this one. Whoops. Up. Yep. That one. There we go. You can logically jump to the pluperfect passive. Right? When you had... right? When you have been something, right? Or you had been something. We had the perfect before, have been something. Now we're getting the pluperfect. Had, extra perfect. It's extra perfect. Plu. Love it. To turn, okay, anyway, here are the endings. Main, so, to, surprise! They look just like the endings in the imperfect without the vowels. Main, so, to, methus, the, unto. They are, right? The my, sai, tai, and the main, so, to. Get these down. Get these down. If you want to progress and you want to be able to go through, these units progressing like this, please. What we need is for you to see things in the exercises. Pull up those exercises. And I just want people to see a couple of things. These exercises in this chapter, right? Oh, what are they talking about right from the beginning? Now, notice people are starting to get long. You're like, holy mackerel. For everybody who's not in the Greek, right? They look at this and they're like, geez, what are you people doing? There's actually a whole bunch of Greek there, right? Good. So you got both that gold and that silver in this one, right? Now you run into a hupoton polyton after that, right? And you're like, oh, wait a minute. The way that I express agency, they told me, is with hupo. What is agency? I was kicked by a mule. I was kicked. That's passive. I was kicked. You got to tell me now that I am not the subject anymore, right? You got to tell me who is actually doing the verb. And how do you do that? Agency. You express that. You express that in Greek in a couple of ways. One of the ways they told you is with hupo, the preposition, by, right? Who is this stuff? What is this stuff that's being acted upon? Who's the one who's actually doing it? Oh, it's by the citizens, right? Look at the verb. Look at the main verb here. Epimtheson. People, tell me what that is. It's from pimpo, right? It's an aorist passive. Why are we're trying to practice these passive forms, right? Here's your aorist passive, right? The silver and the gold and the silver were what? They were sent by the citizens. That's where your agency is. Hupo ton polyton. Okay, I want you to see that. Then they give you a purpose clause. Hos, jump to the end of that line and you get thusean. There's your verb. Why do we have an optative there in our purpose clause? In order that they might sacrifice. Why do we have that? Because our main clause, its verb, epimtheson, is a secondary tense. It's an aorist. And aorists are secondaries. So it's got to use an optative form, right? You people knew that. You saw that coming? Right? Okay. Look at number 2. What is the real swallower here? Look at the very last word, gegraptai. It's going to shift you. They're just trying to shift you from an active voice to a passive voice. So when you're going through these exercises, I want you to be sure to consider that there are some things they're trying to point out to you. You should see, like you've gone over this obstacle course, right? And you know, oh, they taught us chin-ups here, so they're going to make us do chin-ups. We're going to do that, right? And you see them. You're out on the course. Guess what? Purpose clause, that's a chin-up, right? Main clause and a secondary. Oh, that's, doing push-ups. Fantastic. I want you to look at number 3. Now, this is an exercise I do with individual students that I don't. So far, I have not done it with you. Mostly what we do is when we translate these exercises, I'll tell the student, read it. They will read it in Greek. Number 3, tois tu pro tu angelu logos tois kakos, etc., etc. You read it in Greek first and then you translate it. But an exercise I do is I tell students, stop. First thing you do, if you see that A, it's a conditional sentence. I want you to identify it. I want you to tell me what kind of conditional this is. And how am I going to do that? I've got to break it down and analyze it and go back to that chart that's in Unit 4. And I've got to say, which one is this? Future more vivid, less vivid, present general, past general, present factual, past contrafactual. Which one is it? What is this one? Look, it's got an A. And what is the verb in the protasis? What is the verb in the protasis? It's in the optative, right? What is the verb? What do we have in the apodosis? We've got an on plus an optative. A plus optative, optative plus on, right? What is that? It's a future less vivid. What's the translation formula for the future less vivid? Should would. Should would. Fantastic. A plus optative, optative plus on. Now, you should be able to translate that whole sentence. If somebody should, then somebody would. Right? We're just following the rules of the grammar. That's all. That's all. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. I just want to make sure. Yep. Well, notice, by the way, at number 3, there's also an infinitive, right? I want to make sure there's 2 of them actually. I want you to make sure and pick up those, right? Okay, good. Excellent. Okay. So as you're doing the exercises, please learn that you need to pay attention to what the unit is actually trying to teach you. So, and I know you do that. I know that's not hard to pick up, right? I mean, that's natural. You should feel that way as you're doing the exercise. What the hell are they? Oh, it's a purpose clause, right? That's not, I know that's not going to strike you as strange. It's not going to go over your, head like you're a moron or something, right? No. Keep studying. If at all possible, attend one of the sessions that are on the weekends that the Intrepid TAs are working, where they're working with the students. Please, you can go through individual exercises together. You can practice, and they are dedicating their time to this. Why? Because they see the value in training. They see it giving people that freedom to be able to look at those texts for themselves, right? Instead of take my word for it. That is precious, as precious gets. Okay. Thank you for coming tonight. I want to say a special thanks to Teddy for getting us all this lovely music and, bringing those images. Thank you, Teddy. I truly appreciate it. Everybody check out and go to Teddy. I also want to say thank you again to Old Boy, who is putting together marvelous videos. And they're not long-winded like I am. He's putting a whole bunch of concise information, very short, tight little area, and just getting it out there where you can just, bam, pop it in your mouth and go. I love it. I love it. It's good stuff. Also, thank you to everybody. I hope that we got lots of feedback. I appreciate everything that people have been saying about the constructive nature of what we're doing, right? The constructive nature, right? And in the meantime, know that I'm training, and I'll bring something to you that's gorgeous. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Hail Satan.
But the derangement syndrome has them hurting the kids, as you know. But you die too. I'm fashion gibbets. Crucify the child rapist on the cross. Throwing Christians to the lions. Throwing all the pedophiles off the bridge. Fish food. Have a nice swim for your derangement syndrome. This is the prescription. Reek like indica. Puffing the death bubba. Black water freshie.